sentence you to life in confinement without parole.
That's f***ing horse shit. You do whatever the f*** you want.
Why are they shutting my mic off?
I'm the federal witness of the United States federal government. I demand some goddamn respect, you. All I did was trespass on property.
Ma'am, you gotta create the community that you want to live in.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Do you need an interpreter?
No.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jaime Sotomayor, certified federal interpreter, over to sworn today. 1 second while I connect to the headset.
Thank you, Mr. Sotomayor.
We're connected, Your Honor.
2022 CF 4710AO, and this is Judge Bigney in BRC 1. Ma'am?
Was that 2021, sorry?
2022
22.
CF 4710AO. Ma'am, please
Thank you.
begin by telling me what your name is.
Sandra Pagan Perez.
Sandra Pagan Perez.
You were arrested for a crime of aggravated battery in an offense of battery, domestic violence. Do you need a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your case?
Sí.
Yes.
I'll appoint the public defender. I do find probable cause for both of these offenses. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me what your name is?
Isabel Luz Pagan.
And how do you know Miss Pagan Perez?
She's my mom.
Do you live together?
Yes.
Are you in fear of her?
No.
Do you feel safe living together?
Yes.
Do you want her to return home?
Yes.
Were drugs or alcohol a factor in any of this?
No.
Do you know if she owns any firearms or other weapons?
No.
State, any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
On count 1, I'll set the bond at $1,000. On count 2, I'll set the bond at $100. Ma'am, your total bond is $1,100. You may return home. You are not allowed to have any hostile contact with your daughter. You can't do anything to harm, threaten, or intimidate her. You're also not allowed to own any weapons. If you do have any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release from jail. Do you have any questions?
No.
Ma'am, do you have any
No.
questions?
No, ma'am.
And how old are you?
20.
All right, thank you. That'll conclude your case. She does have a bond. I think that's everything for Spanish interpreter. You can do
Very well, Your Honor. Let us know if you need anything.
Thank you, we'll call. Next up is Thaddeus Evans. Are you Mr. Thaddeus Evans?
Yes, ma'am.
2022 MM 2675AO. You're here for a crime of trespass. I do find that there's probable cause for this offense, and yes, and I did stay the bond at $500. It is a time-served offer, Mr. Evans, and based on your history, I would adjudicate you guilty. You'd be released today, and you owe court cost. Would you like to accept that offer? You need to answer out loud.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I did temporarily appoint the public defender because of his refusal. He did not qualify. Do you want me to go ahead and strike that, and he can appear pro se if he desires?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you need to talk to a lawyer about your case, Mr. Evans? Mr. Evans, do you need a lawyer to help you with your case? You'll need to just answer out loud.
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll strike the affidavit and discharge the temporary appointment with no objection. How do you plead to the crime of trespass on property other than a structure? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
And do you understand what no contest means?
Not guilty or guilty.
It means you're not admitting or denying to the charge, you just feel it's in your best interest to finish your case. Is that what you would like to do today? And you just need to answer loud enough so I can hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
And can you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medicine that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, ma'am.
I'm showing you this paper. Did you read it and understand it? Out
Yes,
loud.
ma'am.
And is this your signature? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by pleading today, your terms of probation would be violated? If you were on probation for any past crimes, by entering a plea today, your probation would be violated. Do you understand that, Mr. Evans?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you're not a United States citizen, by entering a plea today, you would be subject to deportation. Do you understand that as well?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, I'll go ahead and accept your plea. You'll be adjudicated guilty. We'll get some fingerprints from you. I'm sentencing you to time served. No return to the scene of the crime, and you owe court cost. Court costs are $279. I'll give you 1 year to pay that. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So this is one of those cases where it was addressed yesterday. You'll notice the Xerox copy. And you can also tell by the date because it was one of those. Yeah, he refused to.
Oh, I don't know. No, you don't need them. That's what I thought. It's not a paper.
But it just makes sense to do it this way. Thompson,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Thompson, you have a couple of cases and you do have a public defender. Do you want a public defender to help you with the felony charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you, because of your refusal, the public defender's office waived your appearance, but I'm only addressing the exposure of sexual organs. If you would like to resolve the misdemeanor case that you have ongoing with Judge Johnson, it's an adjudication time served offer. You would also owe court costs, but you would be released on that case today. Would you like to do that?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to do that, and I appreciate it.
Okay, defense counsel, I'll go ahead and proceed with plea. Sir, how do you plead to the offense of exposure of sexual organs? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
Your Honor, I plead no contest on that charge of exposed of sexual organs.
And has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No, ma'am. No one has forced me or bribed me to put in that plea of no contest, Your Honor.
And sir, can you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, Your Honor. I can read, write, and understand the English language.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, Your Honor. I'm alert, intelligent, and able to stand trial and put in a no contest plea.
In front of you, there's a plea form that I saw your attorney hand you. Did you read it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor. I understand the plea offer or the plea of no contest or plea of guilty. I put in a plea of no contest, and I'm understanding.
And you
able
can
to
just
read it
answer
right.
yes or no. If you have any questions, you can talk to your attorney. If you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated. Do you understand that?
I do understand that, Your Honor.
And if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Additionally, if you have a criminal history of doing anything sexually violent or anything sexually motivated, under the laws of the state, you would be civilly committed. Do you understand that too?
I do understand that, Your Honor.
All right, I'll accept your plea of no contest. You're adjudicated guilty. I have a factual basis. It's a time-served sentence. You'll be released today on just those charges. You have to pay your court costs within 1 year of being released from jail. Do you have any questions, sir?
No questions.
Right, anything else, counsels?
Yeah, I did see in my notes, because we have the case, there is a cost of investigation in the amount of $93 to the Orlando Police Department.
I'll add that on as a condition
Thank
of
you.
1 year payment. Thank you.
She already set your bonds yesterday, so she just stayed them.
Let
Let me give you the paper.
I worked it up yesterday,
You can just,
so.
It was 30 days?
they haven't set it yet, because
38. Thank you.
you're still
These are the orange that we use.
right now.
These are the new
They haven't filed on these, but I didn't
An
want to hold
orange
it, no
sheet's
bond.
gonna trigger that they're already out on bond on something else. So this guy was out on bond, in the exposure of sexual organs case. So, the thing is, I couldn't plea it out if there was a victim witness, but it was a police officer. So, he was the witness, so I kind of just moved it. Cut it. Sir, can you start by telling me what your name is?
Yes, ma'am, Christopher Barnes.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Yes, ma'am, it's Christopher Barnes.
Mr. Barnes, good morning. You're here in case number 2022 CF 4636. You qualify for the services of the public defender. Do you want a public defender to help you with your case?
No, it's okay, we can proceed.
Excuse me, what did you say?
No, it's okay.
All right, so you are going to state, do you have your witness ready? On the assault for dating violence?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Sir, you are entitled to a bond on the assault. You came in as no bond. Probable cause has been found for the offense of grand theft motor vehicle as well as assault. Give me just a moment. So, because this came in as a warrant, it's not, generally doesn't have the affidavit or the factual basis.
Oh, I see.
You have to go online and pull up the, pull it up.
The actual warrant.
So you know the name of the victim. Is Kayla present?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so at this time, I'm going to go ahead and set the following conditions. Since you do not need an attorney, I do find probable cause. On count one, I'll stay the bond at $2,500 for the charge of grand theft auto. And then on the charge of assault, I'm setting your bond at $500. You're to have no contact with the victim of this case. You must maintain separate residence, and you're not to have any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release from jail. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, sir. Ma'am.
All right, thank you, Mr. Barnes. No, he's getting his own, he's toga. Yes. All right, back on in 2022 CF 4732. I'm going to appoint a public defender in the Ballard case. I do find probable cause. What says the state as far as bond on count one? And then I'll hear from defense.
Your Honor, on count one, it is a first-degree felony, and he is entitled to bond. State would just ask that you take into account that his lack of community ties. He also is a violent felony offender of special concern. He's also a multi-state offender. I believe most of his history being out of Illinois, including his last conviction. And he also has multiple convictions for other violent offenses, including other firearm offenses, which there was a firearm used in this case as well. So state would ask that you take all that into account when setting his bond.
Okay, and defense, and with conditions of no contact, no weapons as well. Defense, do you want to be heard?
On my sheet, it's not showing any of his, I don't know if they finished the assessment, but I'm not seeing any community ties, and he's not here, Your Honor, so I don't know how long he's been in the area, but I just asked that you, I believe this was his sister. Oh, no, it's the other one. Yeah, I just asked that you set a bond. He's entitled to a bond.
Are you waiving his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, based on the facts of the case, and as recently as 2018, he was in another state, I'm going to find that there's lack of ties. I'll set his bond at $75,000, and I'll stay the bond on count two, the discharge of a firearm modified to 100 subsidiary, and the possession of firearm by a convicted felon 150 subsidiary, for a total of $75,250. I'm going to order no contact with the victim or witnesses. Defendant is not to possess any weapons. And no return to the scene. Thank you, defense and state. Mr. Somerville, we'll work your case in. Is this him?
Thank you, Your Honor. No, he's a 33-day motion.
Oh, he's a 33-day? What do we have a That's green?
I'm ready on 33, Your Honor, whenever you want to call them.
Oh, is that Mr. Somerville's case? The 33? What? are we going on? Yeah, I need a defendant's name. I'm going to keep moving until, is this Irving Green? Yes. Okay, thank you. That's what I was. Mr. Green, you're here in case number 2022 CF 4722. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
No, ma'am.
Do you plan to represent yourself or hire your own attorney?
I'm gonna hire one.
Okay, you're going to hire one, so you don't want a public defender? I think so. Got it. Are you Angeli, Mahogany, or Leon? I know that, but why?
Where's the security officer? Oh, goodness gracious.
Good morning. Can you start by telling me your names?
My name is Minister Irvin Green.
I'm sorry, what is your first name?
Irvin Green, Senior.
And ma'am, your name?
Good morning. My name is Bridget Yvette Sykes.
Okay. And Mr. Green, how are you related to the defendant?
I'm his father.
And Ms. Sykes, how are you related to the defendant?
I'm his mother.
Is Angeli, Mahogany, or Leon present?
No, ma'am.
All right, and I was talking to the government attorney. Mr. Green, you're here, you were arrested for aggravated assault. It is domestic in nature. And are you sure you don't want an attorney? Because I do find probable cause. I will give you a bond or release conditions, but are you sure you don't need an attorney at this time?
I'll take it.
He does.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Yes, ma'am, I'll take it.
Okay, we'll appoint the services of the public defender. Ms. Sykes and Mr. Green, I do need to advise you that you are entitled, if the state or defense wants to call you as a witness, but you are, neither of you are the named victim. It is an open courtroom. You are entitled to be present, but you may not be able to contribute unless you're called. All right. State, have you had any contact with the victims?
No, Your Honor.
Stone carriage.
Excuse me, Your Honor. May I make a statement, please?
I'm going to deny that request. State, do you have any witnesses to call or defense?
The state is not, Your Honor.
Ms. George, do you have any witnesses to call?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Can he afford a bond of $2,500?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to set bond at $2,500. You're to have no contact with Angeli Theogene, Mahogany Green, or Leon Theogene. If you live together, you're no longer allowed to. You must maintain a separate residence from them. You're to have no contact with them, nor are you to possess any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release. State, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, that concludes your hearing. That neither side has called you as a witness, so I can't call you either.
Thank you,
Good
Your
luck to
Honor. Is he good?
Oral King is next. No, he opted for a public defender. He changed his mind. Are you Mr. Oral King?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. King, I'm going to address two different cases. You were arrested in case number 2022 CF 4716 for a charge of false imprisonment, battery by strangulation. All of these are domestic in nature. Do you need a public defender to help you with those charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. I'm also going to address your no motorcycle license endorsement case in just a moment. Is Daniel Monahan present? Danielle Monahan, no response. All right, you are entitled to bonds defense. He is out on bond on a no motorcycle license endorsement case number 2022 CT 1574. I'll give you a plea offer on that case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So he is a non-jury trial scheduled in front of me on the 16th. He does not have a public defender. If he wants to appear pro se, what I would do is I would withhold credit time, serve him on this case. He would owe court cost of $301. He does have a number of traffic cases. How do you feel about me addressing traffic cases? So TRs we don't usually address at the jail. out the CT. He's going to do nothing on the traffic offenses. So on the criminal case, the traffic case, I would take no action, but you still need to come to court for your other traffic tickets on the 16th of May, and that's in front of me downtown. You'll be transported if you haven't bonded out.
Who wants to resolve that when you're on?
Okay, let me go ahead and do the motorcycle case, and then I'll talk about the domestic. Mr. King, do you need an attorney for your traffic ticket? Okay. I'll give you a moment. I'll give you a moment to read the plea form. Thank you, Ms. George.
You're welcome.
How do you plead to no motorcycle license endorsement? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
And I have a signed plea form. Did you read it before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you were on probation at the time you committed that crime, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated. Do you understand that as well?
Yes.
All right, I'll accept your plea. I'll withhold adjudication, impose a time-served sentence of 1 day on that criminal charge, and you owe court costs of $301. I'll give you 1 year to make payment. Mr. King, you do need to go to court on May 16th to address all your other traffic tickets, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now let's switch to the felony charge. The witness is not here. He is entitled to bond. State defense, do you want to be heard?
Your Honor, I would just point to the fact that he has no criminal history that I can see. Convictions, I see arrests, but no convictions, and none for domestic violence. So I just ask that you take that in consideration when you're setting the bond.
Where did you live before you moved to Orlando?
In Orlando.
In Atlanta?
Lived before
Oh,
Orlando.
right here.
He's been here, he said, Your Honor.
Were you born and raised here?
Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. My parents moved us from the Bahamas.
He was moved from the Bahamas. It's kind of muffled, sorry.
It is muffled. Thank you. All right. Because of your recent ties to the community, I'll consider all of that. I'll set your bond at $2,000 on the false imprisonment, $150 on the battery by strangulation, and $100 on the battery. Sir, here are the conditions of your release. You're to have no contact with the victim. You must maintain a separate residence. You can't go to where she lives, works, or is known to frequent. And you're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do own any, they need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail. Mr. King, do you have any questions for me?
Need any police? Okay. Then you're fine. Just don't talk about it. I don't want.
Your Honor, DCF was also contacted, so state would ask for her to comply with any DCF investigations.
The state is asking that I impose an additional condition, Mr. King, and that condition is that you cooperate with the Department of Children and Families in their investigation.
I really want to.
Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
so that's a court order. Mr. Somerville, what's your case number?
2022 CF 3071 3072.
Looking it up. That's, it's a 33-day motion.
Yes, there's two of them, Your Honor.
Sorry if I have terrible copyright. No, it's okay. So, you know the 33-day issue. They filed, state that their notice had non-filing, so I'm going to grant it. And then- States are the big one. Okay, it was already especially, I mean, these states are stationed here when you have like a rolling one on like a holiday. That's when it's messy.
No, I just sent it to you. She responded.
All right, your appearance.
Thomas D. Somerville on behalf of Mr. Betts.
Mr. Somerville, are you waiving Mr. Betts' appearance in court today?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
State, let's start with 7-1. Any objection to me granting that motion?
No, Your Honor, state filed a notice of non-filing.
And what about 7-2?
Also granted, state filed a notice of non-filing.
Okay, I'll go ahead and grant those. I've signed off on those, Mr. Somerville. Anything else?
Nothing further.
Can you approach?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I didn't feel.
All right, the next person I'm addressing is David Bosk.
Yes, ma'am.
Just because they qualified does not mean you need to order it, because even if they do, they've been verified. Just look at the facts. I'm not trying to minimize anything. Threw like a rubber band at them. Yes. If they was near choking, maybe not. David Boss, good morning. You're here in case number 2022 MM 274080. Do you need a public defender to help you with your battery charges?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender to help you with your case. Is Janice Riccio present? No response. He doesn't have any domestics defense. Does he want monetary or PTR? I can do.
Pretrial release, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to put you on straight pretrial release. Here are the conditions of your pretrial release. You're to have no contact with the victim, Janice Riccio. You must maintain a separate residence. Since you live together, I'll allow a one-time return. Call the police department. They'll escort you there to collect your belongings. Do not go there on your own. You're also not allowed to have any weapons. If you do own any weapons, those need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail. Additionally, I just want to clarify, I know you have children together. So if DCF has been involved, you need to cooperate with their investigation. You cannot contact her even for the purposes of your children, just no contact whatsoever. Do you have any questions?
No, DCF wasn't called. My daughters were at my grandma.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Yeah.
He just said he didn't, DCF wasn't called, Your Honor.
Okay, I think they might, if in the event that they do. Thank you.
Okay, so there.
Dorsetton Djitson. Sir, what's your name?
The same.
And what's your last name?
GSM.
And you're here for a crime of battery domestic violence. I have a lawyer available from the public defender's office. Do you want a lawyer to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I do find probable cause. Ma'am, you've already been sworn in. What is your name?
Sylvia Joseph.
Can you stand a little closer to the microphone, ma'am?
Sylvia Joseph.
And Ms. Joseph, how do you know this gentleman?
Sylvia?
You're what? How are you related to him? Is he a friend, boyfriend? Are you married? Do you have children in common? Tell me.
No, single.
Do you just live together?
I'm trying to speak English. I need my niece translate, please.
She may need a Creole interpreter, Your Honor.
He speaks Creole, he said, Your Honor.
Okay, do we have one?
I'm gonna have to.
I'm trying.
We're gonna need to recall your case.
She's gonna recall it, so we're gonna get Creole, okay?
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to keep moving down the docket until we get a Creole interpreter. For as much Creole, we only have one or two available for the entire circuit. So we use language line Spanish, it's easy to get. Your name, please? What's your name?
Green.
Good morning, sorry for the wait. You're here for misdemeanor charges in case number 2022 MM 2719. You were arrested for a charge of battery domestic violence. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. Corrections, can I have the face sheet? Mine is missing. I find probable cause for the offense. I'll give it back. Thank you. He does qualify for diversion. State any objection to that based on the facts?
No, Your Honor.
Does he want diversion or monetary bond?
Pretrial release, Your Honor.
I mean, sorry, not diversion, pretrial release. All right, I'll go ahead and put you on pretrial release. Mr. Green, here are the conditions of your release, and I just need to make sure. Is Shante Baca present? Shante Baca, no response. Sir, I'm going to put you on pretrial release. You have to abide by all conditions, and here's some of them. You're to have no contact with the victim, Ms. Baca. You must maintain a separate residence, and you're to have no contact, not even for the purposes of the children. Additionally, you're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do own weapons, they need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release. Do you have any questions, Mr. Green? Here you go.
Yes, can he ask?
Excuse me, what?
He has a question, but can he ask me before?
Sure, of course. At arraignments in IAs, corrections, has everybody do it.
Thank you.
Most of the time. And if they, that way, we're not going back and forth. So it's just a matter of asking them. And I think there's case law out there that says even if they don't qualify for purposes of an IA, they can still have a temporary defender. Okay, yes, ma'am. Got it. Are they going to be language line or, okay. What's your name?
And I will
Okay.
waive the appearance if you'll point us, Your Honor.
Amara Keith. Let's see if the victim is here. I'll appoint a public defender. It's a mental health waiver. Gerald Richardson, no response. I do have concerns about him not qualifying and not hearing from the victim. I'm going to set bond at, based on these facts, $750 and or PTR if mental health PTR if qualifies. Here are the conditions: no contact with the victim, maintain separate residence, one-time return with law enforcement, take any medications as prescribed, and no illegal drugs, and no weapons, weapons to be surrendered within 4 hours of release.
You did give a one-time return, Your Honor.
I did one-time return with law enforcement. Yes, I did. Thank you. David Martinez is next, 2022 MM27. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that, Denise. David Martinez, 2022 MM2732. Are you Mr. Martinez?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Martinez, you were arrested for an offense of battery dating violence. Do you need a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Pardon me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defenders. I do find that there's probable cause. Ma'am, start by telling me what your name is.
Marco Lara Hippolito.
Please raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. How do you know David Martinez?
We started dating about 3 years ago.
Do you live together?
We were.
When's the last time you lived together?
We've been living here in Florida for since January.
Okay, but together?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you moved out since January?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you afraid of Mr. Martinez?
Only when he gets angry.
Were drugs or alcohol a factor in him becoming angry?
No, ma'am.
Do you feel safe with him returning home?
Yes.
You feel safe? You'll need to answer out loud.
Yes.
State, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor. However, regarding the facts within the affidavit, state was to ask for a no contact at this time. Given the facts alleged in this affidavit, it states concern for the victim's safety, even if the victim is testifying that she feels safe with him returning.
I'm not trying to make you feel bad about anything. Are you living in a hotel, an apartment, or your car?
We were living in a car.
Whose car? Who owns the car?
David.
David owns the car? Do you have any family here, or
No, ma'am, I don't.
you think you'd return back to North Carolina if I said no contact?
Yes.
You would go back to North Carolina? State, he has an NTA for something. Can you look at that, corrections? Defense counsel, do you have any questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you want to be heard on terms of release defense?
Your Honor, I would, given he has no other domestic violence history, I would ask for, and the victim testified that she wants contact, I would ask for no hostile contact. Additionally, I would just ask that, given he has no history and he is transient, that you consider a $500 bond.
Okay.
He just started working 2 weeks ago, Your Honor.
I'm going to grant your request and set bond at $500. He is entitled to a monetary bond. Mr. Martinez, I'm ordering that you have no contact with your girlfriend, the victim in this case. You're not allowed to have any weapons. So again, it is a court order. Your communication with her has stopped effectively now.
Yes, ma'am.
No contact means not even any third-party contact, no texting, emailing, and you're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do have any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 2 hours of your release. What that means, ma'am, is that he's not, I've ended your relationship by default because I'm telling him he cannot have any contact with you. And he needs to live separately, so you cannot live in the car together. So you'll need to make other arrangements, it sounds like. But even if you are in the car, he's not allowed to go back. I'll allow a one-time return for as long as he has a police officer accompanying him so he can get belongings out of his car. All right, thank you, everybody. Let's go to that Creolton case.
So you should call them so they can help. Yeah.
Does he have a NTA?
I didn't see anything
It's on the face sheet.
in the judicial inquiry system. I didn't see anything.
It's just such a common name.
I didn't see anything either when I looked.
Okay.
Were you here yesterday? Do you remember resolve?
Oh, here's my green. We're just waiting for an interpreter for your girlfriend. Mr. or Miss Interpreter, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I'm here.
Ma'am, you're going to need to speak into the microphone. Because you're isolated, you can take off your mask. Mr. Interpreter, go ahead.
OK. Alors, c'est moi qui vais interpréter pour vous en créole avec juge là. Alors, s'il vous plaît, faut que vous parlez très près micro pour nous attendre vous à cause des masques là.
Okay.
Ma'am, what is your name?
My name
C'est qui j'en relais?
Celia Joseph.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you'll give today is the whole truth, nothing but the truth, Miss Joseph?
Alors, est-ce que vous sentez que le témoignage qu'on va dire que c'est vérité et seulement vérité, M. Joseph?
Yes.
How do you know him?
C'est comment qu'on est là?
Vous m'entendez bien?
Comment on fait qu'on est là?
Petite main liée.
Is my son.
Do you live together?
Nous habitons ensemble?
Yes.
Do you feel safe with him returning home?
Est-ce que vous sentez en sécurité avec lui qui tourné dans caille là?
Mwen, li pa tande, m'bezoin, m'pa besoin pour yo déporter non, m'besoin pour ouvrir l'Haïti pour la prendre leçon. M'pa besoin pour yo déporter non, m'besoin pour ouvrir le bel papal parce qu'il pa tande moi. Il pa tande, il pa vla l'école.
He doesn't listen to me. He doesn't want to go to school. It's not that I want him to get deported, but I want him to be sent to go live with his dad so he can learn a lesson.
Where does his dad live?
Qui peut papa le vivre?
Saint-Domingue.
The Dominican Republic.
Do you feel safe with him returning home? Do you want him to come live with you? Yes or no?
Est-ce que vous sentez en sécurité avec les capitaines dans caille là? Est-ce que vous voulez lui habiter avec vous, oui ou non?
Oui, mais m'a demandé un service comme en temps d'État. But est-ce qu'il n'y a pas qu'à aider tout m'voyer parce qu'il pas vla l'Haïti. Si la il pas vla l'Haïti, est-ce qu'il y a même sans déportation par là-dedans, est-ce qu'il y a même pas qu'à voyer le bel papa pour moi tout, s'il vous plaît qu'à aider non ça. Please.
Yes, but I'm also asking here the state for a service. What I'm asking is there any way or any program or service that can force him or help him go to Haiti? Because what I'm understanding, the government gets only involved if it's a case of deportation. So I know there's no deportation, so I wanted to know if they can find a way to have him go and fly and go live with his dad.
Do you feel safe with him returning home to live with you and your daughter? Yes or no?
Est-ce que vous sentez que vous en sécurité pour tourner dans Kaila pour l'habiter avec vous, avec petite fille? Oui ou non?
Il pas fait mon nom, oui.
Yes, he didn't do anything to the girl.
Anything else, state or defense?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Quel autre bagage pour défense? Je dis non.
How does he qualify for pretrial release if she's talking about deportation?
I think she's talking about she wants him to go back and live, but he's a resident alien.
Okay, that's what I need to. All right, I'm going to put you on pretrial release. You can return home to live with your mom based on what she said. Please interpret.
Mwen pral mette ou nan libération avant jugement. Ou ka retourner la ka ou pour aller vivre avec maman ou.
You're not allowed to do anything to harm, threaten, or intimidate them.
Ou pa gen droit pour faire rien pour faire ou menace, pour faire ou mal ou bien pour intimider ou.
It's called no hostile contact.
Yorele sa contact sans hostile.
You're not allowed to possess any weapons.
Ou pa gen droit pour posséder aucun arme.
No.
If you own any, you need to turn them over to the police department within 4 hours of your release.
Si ou posséder aucun arme, faut qu'on remette yo by la police dans espace 4 temps les nou lage ou.
You're not allowed to smoke or use pot or any illegal drugs.
Ou pas gen droit pour fumer marijuana ou bien aucun autre drogue.
No.
And you'll be subject to testing at your expense in 30 days.
Et comme ça tout, y a forcé au pour aller faire test, y a pas payer pour test là dans 30 jours.
State anything else.
No, Your Honor.
Dis aucun autre bagage encore.
Yes.
Defense
no.
counsel, anything else?
Yes. I have a question.
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Joseph, that concludes the case. He'll be released from jail today.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. God
Alors,
bless you.
Can you interpret?
alors, M. Joseph, il va plaguer le jodi, nous avons droit pour dans la calle.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Merci tout le monde.
All right, case number 2022 MM 2742, based on the mental health, I'm appointing the services of the public defender. Is James Torres present? For the record, no response. Do you want me to set a bond defense and waiver appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, you can go ahead and disconnect, Mr. Interpreter, and hang up.
Thank you for using our services. You all have a great
She's
day.
on. Oh, Ms. Morales is here. Let's bring her up. 2022 MM 2742 and 2022 MM 508 AO. She's on probation. Do you want me to write down the case number?
Yes.
You'll notice that. And that's going to drop me down to here. Yes. And sometimes when law enforcement arrests them, they go ahead and do an on-view violation of probation and hold them at no bond. But we as judges can do that too. So just enter it. Give me a second. Are you Miss Morales?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Morales, do you need a public defender that's a lawyer to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender to help you with your case. PD's office state, I'm also showing a VOP or a probation issue in case 2022 MM 508, which is not pulling up. Ms. Morales, you were arrested for a charge of battery domestic violence. You are entitled to a bond or some form of release in that criminal charge. However, it looks like you entered a plea back on the 13th of this year to a charge of driving under the influence. One of the conditions of being on probation is that you not commit any new law violence, but no new law violations. James Torres is not here. State, do you want to be heard on the DV case?
No, Your Honor, just,
Do you want to be heard on the,
on the VOP, yes, Your Honor, state would ask that you find an on-view as to the 22 MM 508, as it is an Orange County case. And she did enter a plea, this month on the 13th. So state would ask that you find an on-view and hold her at no bond.
okay, she did have a machete. What's his defense?
Your Honor, I just ask that you take into account she does not have any prior domestic violence in her history. And although she does have she's on probation for the DUI, I would ask at this time that you take no action given her limited criminal history and not do an on-view and hold her at no bond.
All right, here's what I'm doing. I'll start with the battery domestic violence. I'm setting bond at $1,000, no contact with the victim, maintain separate residence from James Torres, one-time return so long as she's accompanied by a police officer, and surrender any weapons, including any machetes. You have 4 hours to do that. Again, that's a no contact order. Based on the recency of being placed on probation and the facts of this new case, I'm going to revoke her, I'm going to do an on-view violation of probation, hold her at no bond. You can have that set in front of Judge Gibson. Evan Simmons is next.
Thank you.
Are you Devin Simmons?
Yes, Your
Honor. Mr. Simmons, do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. You were arrested for a charge of battery domestic violence. Going to give you a monetary bond. That bond is $500. Mr. Simmons, you're to have no contact with the victim, Jonathan Harris. You must maintain a separate residence. You cannot go to where he is living. I understand that you may have a relationship with his mother, but that would still, if that's the case, you're removed from the house. I'll allow a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer to collect your belongings. you're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do own any weapons, surrender them within 4 hours of your release. Anything else, defense counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, state?
No, Your Honor.
This one, the victim is his stepson, basically. Lorraine Sutton.
About asleep? Okay, so you're.
Are you Miss Sutton? Miss Sutton, you're here for case number 2022 MM2741. You were arrested for a charge of battery domestic violence. Would you like a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. Are you Mr. LeBron?
Yes, I am.
Mr. LeBron, how do you know Miss Sutton?
She's my woman.
She's your wife?
15 years.
You're married and you live together? Or
Yes.
Are you in fear of her?
Not at all.
Would you like her to return home?
Please.
Do you have any concerns about the safety, your own safety or anybody else in the household safety?
No.
Or drugs or alcohol a factor in any of this?
We'll do that.
Not at all.
State any questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
Does she want PTR or monetary bond?
Pretrial release, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutton, I'm going to put you on pretrial release with the following conditions. You're to have no hostile contact with Mr. LeBron. You're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release. Do you have any questions, Mr. LeBron?
I just want my woman home.
Okay, well, I put her on pretrial release. She'll be processed. Anything else, defense?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Ms. Sutton, your case is over. State defense, can you approach on the next one? What's your name?
Ora Taylor.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Ora Taylor.
Mr. Taylor, you're here for a charge of battery. This is non-domestic. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not listed as domestic, but it is, actually. Carol Taylor and Orly Lee Taylor, they want victim confidentiality. I'm not sure if they're doing a harbor house situation, so that address needs to be sealed. All right, for the record, I have received a request for victim confidentiality. I just wanted to let you know that. At this time, I need the victim's contact information redacted. For discovery purposes, contact the state attorney's office for information. Good morning. Can you tell me what your name is?
Ora Lee Taylor.
All right, thank you. And how do you know Mr. Is this your son?
Father.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Son.
Are you afraid of him?
Yes.
If I ordered no contact, would you be agreeable? Where he cannot contact you, he cannot live with you?
Yes.
Okay. State anything else. Any questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Taylor, how do you know Cheryl Taylor?
My wife.
She's your wife?
She said no.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and tell him what his conditions are, and then I'll ask you if you have any questions. Based on your criminal history, Mr. Taylor, I'm going to set bond in the amount of $1,500. I'm ordering no contact with the victims and both of your parents. You must live separately from them. If you have belongings at their house, I'll allow a one-time return, but you must be accompanied by a police officer. You're also not allowed to have any weapons. If you own any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release. Mr. Taylor, are drugs or alcohol a factor in any of this?
No.
Okay. Do you have any questions about about his release conditions? He has a bond. He's allowed to go back to your home one time, but he must be with the police officer. After that, he needs to live elsewhere. All right. Thank you, sir. Miller was what? Okay, let me just call it up. He was already transported, you said? Okay, we'll go ahead and take it off docket. Consuela Torres. This batch is going to be really quick, and sometimes you'll get defendants. Are you Ms. Torres?
Yes, ma'am.
2021, 2518 MMA. You're here for a violation of probation. The underlying offense is petty theft. This occurred in Seminole County. You're being held at no bond status. Do you want me to appoint a public defender to assist you while you're in the Orange County Jail?
My papa's gonna get me a lawyer.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and find you pro se. Thank you, ma'am. You'll be transported within the next 30 days.
Thank you.
Jeffrey Zimmerman.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Zimmerman, good morning. You're here for a warrant out of Volusia County, Florida. Do you need a public defender to help you while you're in the Orange County Jail?
No, ma'am, I already have a lawyer.
Okay, do you want me to tell you why you're here?
I already know why I'm here.
So I'll go ahead and waive reading. I'm going to impose the additional conditions that you have no contact with any person under the age of 18. And you're not to have any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release if you do get a bond. Thank you.
Your Honor, that was a no bond.
That was a no bond.
Thank you.
Everything will be stayed. Thank you. Samantha Converse. Good morning, Ms. Converse. Ms. Converse, you're here for a violation of probation in case number 2004 CF 10922. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. You are here for the underlying offense of attempted first-degree murder and aggravated battery with great bodily harm. It's alleged that you failed to report to your probation officer as court ordered and failed to comply with the instructions. I'll give you a moment to speak with your defense attorney.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're being held at no bond. Shall I enter denials?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Next up, I have Maximo Marquez.
It was a felony.
Oh. She did a 3 case?
I only have 2.
You have 3.
Fajardo?
On this case? Hold on.
Oh, never mind.
No? Okay. We're okay.
Anybody have a case number? Oh, he has a couple case numbers. They're calling Fajardo, but I don't have.
Oh, this is an AKA, but it's not listed on the affidavit as AKA. That is the person that you have in front of you.
Maximo Marquez? Okay, thank you for letting me know about the AKA. Sir, please tell me what your name is.
Raul Fajardo?
I'm sorry, what is it?
Raul Fajardo.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fajardo. Mr. Fajardo, I'll be addressing 3 different cases. They're all violations of probation. Do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
Yes, please.
I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender. For the record, my paperwork says Maximo Marquez, and corrections has told me this is an AKA. In 2002 CF 15016, you're here for a violation of probation for the underlying offense of possession of controlled substance. You're being held at no bond. In case 2003 CF 9383, you're here for a possession of controlled substance. It's alleged that you violated your probation. And in case number 2022 CT 181239, you're here for alcohol-related reckless driving. It's alleged you violated your probation. Do you want me to waive read? Do you want to waive reading?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and he's held at no bond on the 2 felonies and bond in the amount of $1,750 on the misdemeanor. I'm just laughing, not laughing because of the age of this case. I think he's been retired for close to 15. Yes, please. We haven't been consistent. Thank you. That concludes your hearing. Lovins Kitching. Mr. Kitching, you're here for a violation of probation cases as well as new law violations. Do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
Please,
Yes?
please,
Okay, you're just going to need to speak a little louder.
please, ma'am.
Sir,
Please,
I'll,
sorry.
I'll appoint a public defender. You were arrested in case 2022 CF 4721 for charges of robbery, 2 counts of battery, and criminal mischief. I do find probable cause. Based on his criminal history and the facts of these these charges, I'm going to stay the bond. I'm ordering no contact with any victims, no return to the scene of the crime, and not possess any weapons. And then in case number 2020 CF 12687, I'm showing that you're on probation, and these offenses and allegations violate your probation, so you'll be held at no bond. Tell me if you want me to slow down. Okay. The next person is Tilmy, William Tilmy. When you do warrant signing. All right, sir, what's your name?
William, tell me.
Mr. Tilmy, you're here for a violation of probation on the underlying offense of fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
It's alleged, I'll appoint the public defender. It's alleged that you tested positive for marijuana, and you're now being held at no bond. Jonathan Whitted. 2021 CF 9817AO. Mr. Whitted, you're here for a violation of probation for the underlying offense of grand theft. Do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. It's alleged that while you were on probation, you committed a new law offense of battery, domestic violence on or about March 28th. You do have a bond. Your bond is $7,500. Followed by Darius Wells.
Yeah, both.
Darius Wells, 2021 CF 5613AO. Mr. Wells, you're here for a violation of probation in the felony case. It's alleged that you committed a misdemeanor offense in the city. Do you want a public defender for your felony charges?
Yes.
I'll appoint the public defender, Mr. Wells, and you're being held at no bond status. All right, state, anything else besides 33-day motions?
Actually, yes, Your Honor. I wasn't in the ASA in court yesterday, as you know. However, I do believe there was a reset that was reset from yesterday that didn't get set on the reset list.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Walker is a refusal.
Walker? Okay.
All right, 2022 MM2720. Walker, he's a refusal. I'll appoint the public defender, and you want to go ahead and waive?
There was an offer. Could we reset for tomorrow, just one day, Your Honor?
I'm going to deny the request based on the refusal. I can modify the bond to 100 plus no return.
Okay, thank
I'll
you.
do that. Carl Wilson is next, 2022 CO498A. Good morning. Are you Mr. Wilson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Wilson, you're here for panhandling. It's called soliciting without permit.
Yes.
The offer in your case is a time-served offer. Would you like to accept that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need a public defender?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. How do you plead to the charge of soliciting without permit, guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No.
If you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, do you understand your probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you would be subject to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Your attorney handed you a document. After you've read it, please sign it.
All right.
How many interpreters do we have? All right, sir, based on your history and your plea of no contest, I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to time served. Sir, you'll be released on these, actually, I'll withhold. Pay your court costs within 1 year, Mr. Wilson. Your case is over. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. The next person is Harold Bennett. Okay, this is FTA from 2014. I'll appoint the public defender if they're not on it already, and I'll stay the bonds. Yes. The next person is David McNatt. Are you Mr. McNatt? Okay, do you want a public defender to help you with your felony charges?
Yes, public defender, please.
I'll appoint a public defender, sir. Your case number is 2022 CF 3980. You're here for a KPS. You missed your court date. You have a bond of $3,500, sir. Thank you, Mr. McNatt.
You're not gonna qualify, you hypnotize. You have an open case.
There are some conditions. You're to have no contact with the victim, witnesses, or any co-defendants, if any, and no return to the scene of the crime where this was alleged to have occurred.
Your Honor, he has multiple mental health issues. Is it possible for him to be screened for mental health pre-trial release alternatively?
I'll do or mental health PTR.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you for letting me know that. Robert Crew is next.
Can I go in order, Laura?
I'm going to deny that request, sir. Robert Crew is next, case number 2022 MM2734.
You did.
Good morning, Mr. Crew. Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Crew?
Yes.
Hi. You're here for a charge of trespass on property after warning. This occurred at Bank of America. I find probable cause. The offer is an adjudication time served, correct?
Yes, Judge.
Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case, Mr. Crew? All right. How do you plead to the charge of trespass on property?
No contest.
Do you understand what no contest means?
Yeah.
Has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No.
Do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed this crime, by pleading today, your probation would be violated? Do you understand that? And if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation. Do you understand that as well?
Yes.
I see that you signed a plea form. Did you read it before you signed it? All right, I'll find you waived your right to an attorney. I'll proceed to sentencing. You're being adjudicated guilty, sentenced to time served. You'll be released on these charges today. No return to the scene of the crime. Abide by all trespass orders and pay your court costs within 1 year. That ends your case, sir. Thank you. The next person is Dana Crittenden. Good morning, Ms. Crittenden. You were arrested for a charge of battery. I do find that there's probable cause. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I'm going to stay the bond at $500. You're to have no contact with Richard Thomas, and you're not allowed to have any weapons.
Stop talking. I'm sorry. Oh, you don't qualify.
No contact, stay the bond.
Your Honor.
After that, I'm addressing Gustavo Salazar Hernandez.
We have Mr. Manuel Rosado. He's coming out. That's the one for the reset.
Reset.
Other than the case number.
That's the PC.
Yes, Judge.
Bring him up.
You need the case number. 4654.
4654. This is Mr. Rosado. He's represented by the public defenders for a tampering charge. I found no PC yesterday. State, have you perfected probable cause?
Yes, Judge, I did obtain a new affidavit from the detective. I've already provided a copy to defense. May I approach?
Yes. Okay, defense, any objection? I know.
No, Your Honor.
The very beginning of the
Just give me a moment to
affidavit
read it.
and the very last part of the affidavit.
Thank you, State. Based on the based on these additional facts, I do find that there's probable cause. Do you want to be heard on bond, State?
Yes, Your Honor, given that this is a first-degree felony that's punishable by life, state's asking that you hold him no bond pending an Arthur hearing at a later time.
Isn't on it? I thought it was, okay. Anything else?
It is. It is.
Thank you, everybody.
tampering
I'll
on a
continue
capital.
to hold you at no bond. Thank you. No contact with any of the named witnesses or victims' families or any co-conspirators. Thank you. Gustavo Salazar Hernandez. Are you Mr. Hernandez?
Spanish, Your Honor.
He's what?
Spanish.
Okay.
The next few cases are and there is an off. Well, you already know, Your Honor. I just couldn't speak to him because he's
Time served? Let me talk to him.
Yes.
Good afternoon. It's Judge Bigney, BRC1. Have you been sworn in?
Not yet, Your Honor. Daniel Romero, State Certified Spanish Interpreter.
Do you solemnly swear to interpret from English to Spanish and Spanish to English to the best of your abilities, so help you God?
Yes, I do. Daniel Romero, State Certified Spanish Interpreter.
22MO551AO. Sir, are you Mr. Salazar Hernandez?
See?
You were arrested.
Yes.
You were arrested for open container of alcohol. The offer is an adjudication, credit time served, plus court cost. You would be released today, or I would stay the bond. Do you want a lawyer? Yes or no?
Sí, me dijeron que me iban a dar un abogado de aquí.
Yes, I was told I would get an attorney assigned here.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. Defense, do you want me to reset him for tomorrow?
No, pues yo me declaro culpable, como dijo.
There's an offer.
No, but I plead guilty, as you said.
Okay.
He wants to resolve it. I just can't fully go through.
Sir, do you understand, how, are you pleading guilty to this charge?
Sí.
Yes.
You understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Sí. Sí.
Yes.
And if you're not if you were on probation at the time you committed this crime by entering a plea today, do you understand your probation would be violated?
No he estado en la probatoria, pero sí, si me toca hacerlo, pues cometí el error y lo tengo que hacer.
I haven't been on probation, but yes, if I have to be on probation, I made a mistake, I will do it.
I'm not putting you on probation, but if you were on probation for any past crimes, it would violate your probation. Did you read the paper in front of you?
Sí.
Please sign
Yes.
if you agree. At this time, I will accept your plea of guilty. I'll adjudicate you guilty, impose a time-served sentence. You'll be released today on these charges, and
Your Honor, I'm sorry. I put a withhold.
I'll do a withhold. I'll strike that. I'll withhold adjudication, impose a time-served sentence. You'll be released today. You owe your court cost. I'll give you 1 year to pay. Thank you, Mr. Salazar. You'll be released on these charges. Next up is William Morales Array. 2022, I'm sorry, strike that, 2020 CF 11500080. Sir, you missed your court dates for possession of drug, possession of marijuana, and paraphernalia charges. The public defender will continue to help you. You're being held at no bond. Thank you, sir. The next case up is 2022 CF 4717. All right, 2022 CF 4717. I find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. His appearance will be waived based on behavior. On count 2, I'll modify to the bond to 100. I'll stay the bond on count 1. So the new total is $1,100.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have a name for that one, Your Honor?
And I'm sorry, he was not there. That was Michael Hernandez.
Thank you.
The next case is Omar Torres Suarez, case number 21 CF 15036. Sir, what is your name?
Omar Torres Suarez.
Omar Torres Suarez.
The public defender's office will continue to help you with your case. You missed your court date. You're being held at no bond. Thank you. Sorry about that. The next case is Brian Perez Pontin, 2022 CT 620AO. Sir, you're represented by the Public Defender's Office for a charge of no motor vehicle registration. It is a time-served offer. Are you Mr. Perez Pontin?
Sí.
Yes.
Would you like to plead to this time-served offer?
Sorry. Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to the charge of no motor vehicle registration? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
No contest.
Please answer in Spanish. Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes.
Yes.
And if you were on probation at the time you committed this crime by entering a plea today, your probation would be violated. Do you understand that?
Probation. You're not on probation.
Sir, do you understand that? Yes or no?
Sí.
Yes.
I have a signed plea form. At this time, I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to credit time served. You'll be released on this case. Pay your court costs within 1 year. Thank you, Mr. Perez Pontin. Your case is over. Thank you. I'll disconnect from the interpreter.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
You too. Tyrone Dupree Bowens. Are you Mr. Bowens?
Smell.
You're here for a charge of driving no valid driver's license. Defense counsel, how does he plead?
No contest, Your Honor. I believe he has a second charge as well.
And you're also here for a charge of petty theft. Is he pleading on that case as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
The offer on the petty theft 2020 MM 705 BW is an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to the Walmart, cost investigation in the amount of $263.46 to the Ocoee Police Department, and the offer in 2021 CT 1735 AW is an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and court costs.
All right, thank you. Sir, how do you plead to the charge of no valid driver's license? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
How do you plead to the charge of petty theft?
No contest.
Has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No.
Sir, do you understand that on this theft charge you will be convicted? If you commit a future act of theft, you will be charged with a felony despite the value of the item. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign this plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed these crimes, by playing today, your probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
On the petty theft, I'll go ahead and proceed to sentencing. I'm adjudicating you guilty, sentencing you to time served. No return to the scene of the crime. You owe court costs and $263.46 to the Ocoee Police Department to be paid within a year. In 2021 CT 1735, I'm adjudicating you guilty, sentencing you to 8 days credit time served, and you also owe court costs within 1 year. You have 30 days to appeal. That concludes your cases. Thank you, sir.
And I'm sorry, on his particular case, he is being sentenced to prison time, so could we do that upon release?
1 year upon release from jail,
Thank you.
prison, or any other holding facility. Thank you for letting me know that. Jonathan Raphael Colon Munoz, is that you? You're here for a charge of trespass on property other than a structure or conveyance. Defense counsel, is this going to be a plea?
Yes, Mr. Colon Munez has entered a plea of no contest. The offer is an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to 7604 East Colonial Drive and court costs, Your Honor.
All right, how do you plead, sir, to the charge of trespass, guilty, no contest, or not
contest.
guilty?
No contest.
And has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Did you sign the plea form?
Pen. It's right there. This is blue.
I have.
Sir, do you understand that if you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on your plea of no contest, I'll proceed to sentencing. You're adjudicated guilty, sentenced to credit time served of 8 days. You're not to return to the scene of the crime and abide by all trespass orders, pay your court costs within 1 year, and you'll be released on these charges today. Thank you, Mr. Colon-Munoz. Chris Gray is next. 2022 2565. Sir, you do have an attorney. The state has formally charged you with violation of pretrial release conditions on a domestic violence charge. There is no offer on this case. Is that correct, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'll enter a plea of not guilty. Pretrial date, please.
Pretrial conference, May 23rd at 9 o'clock, courtroom 7C.
Thank you. That concludes your business with me. Aisha Bevel's next.
What about,
We got Ms.
Manuel Garcia?
Manuel Garcia.
Yeah, he was on our arraignment page at the back. It says,
Okay, hold on.
That's the written plea not guilty of arraignment, or, oh, that's the add-on document.
Case number, please.
2022 CT 492 AW.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia, you're represented by the services of the public defender. You're facing a charge of no valid driver's license. The offer, to my understanding, with the PD's office was a withhold credit time served and court costs. Would he like to resolve his case today?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to the charge of no valid driver's license?
Contest.
Has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed this crime, Mr. Garcia, by playing today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Ma'am.
And you would be subject to deportation if you're not a United States citizen. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You've entered a plea of no contest. Please sign the form if you agree to it. All right, in this case, I'll go ahead and proceed to sentencing. I'll withhold adjudication and impose a time served sentence. You do owe late fees and your court costs and your public defender fees. I'll give you 1 year to make payment on that, and that concludes your business on this case. Thank you, Mr. Garcia. You too, sir. Aisha Bevel's next.
she refused, Your Honor.
Case number 2022 2737. Defendant has a charge from links. I find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. I'll reduce the bond to $100. Sure. Who is that?
In your honor,
Is that Miss Hicks? Is it Miss Hicks?
Your Honor, on the previous case, could we also, she has multiple Baker Acts, could we also have her in the alternative screen for mental health?
I'll grant that request.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Hicks, are you Miss Hicks? Come on up.
No, not you.
Did you get that, Madam Clerk?
I did.
Okay.
Case number is 2022 CF3450. That's the new law, and the out on bond is 2021 CT82518O. Good morning. Are you Ms. Sweet? Appearance, please.
Leslie Sweet on behalf of Miss Elizabeth Hicks.
I've reviewed the paperwork. I find probable cause has been found. Do you want to be heard on bond?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, may my client be placed under oath? Is she under oath?
Go ahead, raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Hicks, please state your name for the record.
Yes, Elizabeth D. Hicks.
And where do you live?
I'm at 4665 Edgeborne Street, Orlando, Florida, 32811.
And how long have you lived there?
I've been there 4 years, ma'am.
And I believe that your whole family is pretty much in Orlando?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you tell the court the relatives that are here?
You said what, ma'am?
The members of your family that are here?
You said my member of my families? Oh.
That are in Orlando, that live here?
Oh, my whole family is here, ma'am. I'm sorry.
You have to tell the judge specifically who
my
that
whole
is.
family is here.
You have to tell us specifically because.
I like
Your
my
mom,
mom,
your dad.
no, my mom here, my sister, brother, auntie. I'm sorry. My kids, my 4 kids, and my dad, my father, he deceased.
Okay.
My oldest son deceased. It's me and my
And how many children do you have?
I have 5, but my son, he deceased, and I have 4 girls.
And you have a daughter, I believe, that's having a baby.
I got one for the year, my 19-year-old, she for the year to have a baby, May 12th.
And you work?
And I work full-time at Red Roof.
At where?
At Red Roof Hotel.
Wait, just slow down.
I'm sorry.
Because you're about to go out of breath. You work where?
I work at Red Roof Hotel.
Red Roof?
Red Roof, yes.
Got it.
Okay, and how long have you worked there?
Been there 4 years.
And before that?
And I worked at 4 Point.
Do you have a passport?
No, I don't, ma'am.
Do you have any means of leaving the country?
No, I don't.
Do you have any desires to leave the country?
No, I don't.
In your history, have you had any failures to appear for court?
No.
Do you have any criminal history?
Yes.
Which is?
Like, not like for driving, stuff like that.
Any felonies?
Some been dropped.
That you were convicted of?
Really nothing. But it's my driving.
I'm showing she has 2 prior drug convictions and a municipal ordinance violation.
And what year? You know what year?
Yeah, a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Long time ago, yeah.
We'd asked that the court would exercise its discretion and grant her a bond. I want to ask you a question. Who would be posting your bond? Who? The court gave you bond. Who would post it?
I'm gonna release myself to my daughter, and it'll be Chelsea Bell bondsman.
Okay.
Miss Sweet, are you also here on her out on bond case for driving with license suspended?
I saw that case this morning.
Yeah, I go to court May the 12th.
No, we have to fix that license. You can't plead
Okay.
those kind of
I'm
cases.
on a payment plan for that.
Yeah, she is on a pay. I think what happened to her, she's one of those people who got on a payment plan and then she got.
Well, let's just talk about conditions of a release. She can be held at no bond because it's a new law violation. Do you want to be heard on that?
Yes, I'd ask the court not to hold her on no bond. We're going to try to fix that immediately.
Okay.
I can help her with that.
And what kind of bond can she afford?
I'm asking the court, in light of the charges for a bond of probably $20,000.
Okay, State, do you have any questions for this witness, or do you want to be heard on bond?
No questions, Your Honor, just to be heard on bond. Ms. Hicks is here on a first-degree felony that is punishable by life. So at this point, the state is asking that she be held no bond pending an Arthur hearing at a later time. Given that she does have some prior criminal history, as the court has already stated, her prior felonies are older. I believe 2005.
So State is asking that she be held at no bond. Anything you want to argue on that, Mrs. Sweet?
I don't think that she's a danger to this charge is a danger to the community.
Thank you for acknowledging that. All right. I do have concerns about the safety of the community, any witnesses and any victims. Your attorney has done a great job arguing for you, but these facts are too egregious as alleged, and I do have concerns. At this time, I'm going to order and agree with the state. You'll be held at no bond status. You can have a hearing downtown. On the driving with license suspended, I'm revoking your release, but I will give you a new bond of $1,000. Ms. Hicks, you're to have no contact with any co-defendants, witnesses, or the victim or the victim's family. And you're not to own any weapons to be surrendered to law enforcement if you do get a bond. Thank you, Ms. Sweet.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I'll see you next week.
David Catter. You're here for a charge of soliciting without permit as well as possession of drug paraphernalia. If you would like to resolve your cases today, it's a time-served sentence with a conviction. Do you need to talk to a lawyer about your cases?
No, ma'am.
How do you plead to count one, solicitation?
contest.
Okay, and what about the drug paraphernalia? How do you plead? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty? And has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by pleading today, your probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read and sign the paper, the plea form? All right, I'll find that you waived your right to an attorney. I'll accept your pleas of no contest. You're being adjudicated guilty, sentenced to time served, released on these charges today. Mr. Catter, I'll give you 1 year to pay your court cost. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. After that, I have Joshua Clark, case number 2022 MM2735. State, do you have an offer on this case?
No, Your Honor, state did not give me an offer at this time due to possibly being enhanceable.
I agree with that. Joshua Clark, you were arrested for petty theft. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case? I'll appoint the services of the public defender. There is no plea offer on your case, but because of your low criminal history, I'll reduce your bond to $100. No return to any Walmart while this case is pending in Orange County, Florida. So your bond is $100.
You don't sign anything, you just take it.
The next person I'm addressing is LaPavia Bonded? Yeah, thank you. After that is Tatum Gerhart. Case number 2022 MM2730. I find probable cause for all 3 counts of battery, assault, and criminal mischief. Do we have a PD out? Okay, I'll appoint the services of the public defender. On the paperwork, I'm going to say no contact and no weapons.
Your Honor, state would also ask for a no return to the subway.
I'll go ahead and order that too, no return. Your name, please? You're here for a charge of prostitution as a first-time, prostitution, it's a misdemeanor offense. If you would like to resolve your case today, state, did you extend a plea offer?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, here's the offer. Adjudication, credit time served, no return to the mapping zone. As a condition of the court, get HIV STD awareness class and testing within the next 30 days and pay court cost. Do you need a lawyer to explain all that to you? Okay, I'll give you a lawyer and a chance to speak with her.
Your Honor, did you say adjudication or withhold?
I would adjudicate her.
She would like to resolve it, Your Honor.
How do you plead to the charge of prostitution? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
State, would you have any objection to a withhold?
Yeah, I don't see she has any prior history, Your Honor, so no. State
I'll
does
do a
not.
withhold. Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, by entering a plea today, you will be subject to deportation? You'll need to answer out loud.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
And your attorney has a plea form. Go ahead and sign it if you agree to it. Based on your plea of no contest and you signing the document in front of me, I'll proceed to sentencing. I'll withhold adjudication. I'll impose a time-served sentence. As a condition of the court, you need to complete an HIV STD awareness class and testing within 30 days. That can be done anywhere. You don't need to submit proof. You're being sentenced to time served and no return to the prostitution mapping zone unless you're lawfully abiding there. You owe court cost as well. I'll give you 1 year to pay that. And that ends your case and you'll be released today. Good luck to you. The next case up is Shannerton Stanley. I'm finding that you're on probation in case number 21 CF 532 and 21 CF 5617. Do you need a public defender to help you with those charges and your new charge of trespass? You'll need to answer out loud. Do you need a public defender? Yes. All right. On the I'm going to revoke your, I'm going to do an on view on the violations of probation. You'll be held at no bond. On the trespass charge, I find probable cause, no return to the scene of the crime, and I'll reduce your bond to $100, Ms. Stanley. Thank you.
So, Your Honor, given that it is just a trespass, would you consider not violating her probation? She is working part-time currently. She will lose her job and everything.
It is a trespass charge, and the facts, it's not like it was a law or something.
Yeah.
There was other issues. Denied. Imani Wary Nelson. You need a lawyer to help you with your prostitution charge. Okay. I'll appoint the public defender. State defense approach. Um, 22 MM 2746. Oh, did I lose this?
Your Honor, she would like to resolve the case.
How do you plead to the charge of prostitution? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest?
And has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No.
Do you understand that if you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by pleading today, your probation would be violated? Do you understand that? And if you have any criminal history of doing anything sexually violent or anything sexually motivated, under the laws of the state, you would be civilly committed. Do you understand that, Ms. Wary Nelson?
I have 1 moment, Your Honor, I'm sorry. Your Honor, I'm sorry, she doesn't have any type of history. Would you, with the $100 bond, she might qualify for pretrial diversion.
Yeah, I'll modify that to a $100 bond. Jaquez and Sal? Yes. Come on up. 2021 MM 4077. You already have a public defender. You're here for a charge of resisting officer without violence. You have a bond. The bond is $2,000. I'll stay the bond.
Oh, sorry, Your Honor, the offer from the state is an adjudication of guilt, credit, time served, and court cost. And
Sir, how do you plead to the charge of resisting officer without violence? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Has anybody forced you to say no contest? You'll need to answer loud enough so I can hear you.
No.
And do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed this crime, by pleading today, your probation would be violated?
Yes.
And do you understand if you have a criminal history of doing anything sexually violent or anything sexually motivated under the laws of the state, you would be civilly committed? Do you understand that too?
Yes.
I'm reviewing a signed plea form. I'll accept your plea. You're being adjudicated guilty, sentenced to time served, and you owe court costs payable within 1 year. That concludes your case and you'll be released today. The next case is 2014 MM 7046. Are you Gwendolyn Golder?
Golder, yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
I'll appoint a public defender to help you with your case. You're here because you missed your court dates for a 2014 incident. State defense, anything that you want to add?
Yes, Your Honor, state did convey an offer to Ms. Golder to plead to the petty theft and in exchange for pleading to petty theft, state would no cross the
Cannabis?
cannabis.
What's the sentence proposal?
It was a withhold credit time served and no return. She originally was sent to PTD.
It's
and-
closed. Sears is gone. Would she like to plead to the charge of petty theft?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to the crime of petty theft? Guilty,
No
no contest, or
contest.
not guilty?
No contest, ma'am.
Has anybody
Your Honor.
forced you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Do you
No, Your Honor.
understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand if you are on probation back in 2014, that by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll accept your plea of no contest. I will proceed to sentencing. I'll withhold time served, give you 1 year to pay. State, what's your announcement on the cannabis charge?
State announces a null process to count to the cannabis.
Thank you, everybody. You're going to be discharged out today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Julia Spires. Mr. Spires, good afternoon. I'm going to start with the most serious of your cases. Do you need a public defender to help you with all of your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
In case number 2019 CF9499, you're here for a violation of probation. You're being held at no bond. In case number 2021 MM6176AO, you failed to appear for a charge of no valid license and no motor vehicle registration. Your bond is $1,000 per count. You're now here on a charge for burglary of a dwelling.
Your Honor, he's only here on the FTA.
Okay, so I've already addressed the FTAs. Your bond is $1,000 and the public defender will assist you with the case. He's on probation.
I didn't see it, but he's saying he took a plea.
That was 2019, sorry, we're just on 2021 MM617. It was addressed yesterday. Spires. The next person is Mikhail Anthony Abrams. Case number 2021 CT534AA.
Got to pay the bond.
No, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Mr. Abrams, you're here for a charge in case number 2021 CT534AA. You have a public defender and you missed your court date for driving with license suspended.
Yes, ma'am. And then
In case number 2022 CT553AE, you're here for a new charge of driving with license suspended. Do you need a public defender to help you with your new charges?
yes, ma'am. I'm in the process of trying to get my license.
Okay. Your Honor, if I may just address the out on bond briefly.
Yes.
In the out on bond, we are working to get his license. He is actually working. It looks like you're in school and he is on a payment plan trying to pay to get his license. The child support is what's preventing it. He's working now. He's paying it off slowly. I would ask that you not revoke and hold him at no bond on the out on bond so he can continue to make those payments and get his license. If you are inclined to revoke, you revoke and double as opposed to holding him at no bond.
Please, Your Honor, I'm not a criminal.
Okay, stop.
I'm just trying to get my license.
It's not just a DR child support issue. I've looked at his history. I'll consider his history, the number of priors he has.
Okay.
All right, in 2022 CT553AE, I'll go ahead and say that bond at $500. In 2021 CT53AA, I'm revoking your bond and you'll now be held at no bond. Thank you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
The next person is Devontae Hunter. Mr. Hunter, do you need a public defender to help you with all of your cases?
Yes, ma'am.
In case number 2022 MM2731, you were arrested for possession of cannabis, possession of drug paraphernalia, and a charge of no valid license. In those cases, I will stay the bond. In case number 2022 MM1923AO, you're out on bond on a battery domestic violence. One of the conditions is that you not possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs. So in that case, I'm going to revoke your bond and I'm going to set it at $5,000. In case number 2021 CT2026AO, You have a charge of no valid driver's license. In that case, I'm going to revoke your bond and set your bond at $10,000. Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Yes, the traffic case, I just stayed the bond. The next person is Demi Bamberg Gomez.
Bonded, Your Honor.
After that is Joseph Briscoe. Are you Mr. Briscoe?
Ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Briscoe. You're here in case number 2022 CF 4733. You face new charges of grand theft motor vehicle and conspiracy to commit a petty theft. Do you want a public defender to help you with your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender, no contact, no return to the scene of the crime. And I'll stay the bond. Your total bond and those charges are $1,100. However, you were just released from jail in case number 2022 CT 2062 and 2022 CF 420, just on the 26th. Because of the recent release, I'm going to revoke your release and hold you at no bond on both cases. The next case is Derek Brown. Mr. Brown, good morning, good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Brown, do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
Ma'am.
All right, there's quite a few of them. Give me a moment to get them organized.
Ma'am.
Sir, you're here in case number 2022 CF 4728. I find probable cause for possession of methamphetamines. I'll stay that bond at $1,000. You're also here in 2022 MM 2738 for possession of cannabis. I find probable cause. I'll modify that bond to $100. In case number 2022 MM 2739, you were arrested for drug paraphernalia. I find probable cause. I'll modify that bond to $100. In case number 2022 CT 2279, you were arrested and I find probable cause for driving under the influence, and I'll stay that bond at $500. I'm also ordering that you not possess, use, or consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs while you're out on bond. Yes, please. After that, I'm addressing Ian Brugal Palencia. Sir, your name, please.
Ian Brugal?
Sir, do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
No, ma'am. I have a lawyer.
Okay. State, do you want to be heard on bond?
Your Honor, this is a first-degree felony. However, he is entitled to a bond on these charges. He does have no criminal history. However, so we just have you take into account the allegations within the warrant.
Are you okay with 15?
Say would ask for at least 20.
Okay. Sir, you're here for a charge of sexual battery on a person over age 18 by a person over age 18. Probable cause has been found in this case. You're going to have bond in the amount of $20,000. Here are the conditions of your release. You're not to possess any weapons. Any weapons that you own must be surrendered to local law enforcement within 4 hours of your release. No contact with the alleged victim, and no contact with the co-defendant witness who was also present. No contact with anybody under the age of 18. Your attorney can go ahead and set this for a hearing if you want to be heard any further. Okay, thank you. Michael Burnett. Are you Mr. Burnett?
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Sir, you were arrested for possession of cocaine, tampering with physical evidence, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender. I find probable cause in all charges. On count 2, reduce the bond to $150. Count 3, modified to $100. Your new total is $1,250. You're not to possess, use, or consume any drugs. Thank you, sir. Okay, George Calloway. Mr. Calloway, because of your history, I'm appointing the Public Defender's Office sua sponte in case 2022 CF 4725. I find probable cause for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. On the new charges, I'm going to stay the bond with the condition that you not take any illegal drugs. In 2019 CF 4581, And 2020 CF 4916. The defendant has a competency hearing set on the 23rd of May. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and revoke his release and put him on mental health PTR if qualifies.
Any alternative, Your Honor?
No bond in the alternative. No
bond?
No alternative.
Your Honor, I would ask that you not revoke his out on bond, being that he has been deemed incompetent to proceed by a court.
But it was a conditional release, wouldn't you agree on those orders? He's not supposed to commit any new law violations or self-medicate?
Yes, Your Honor. However, there's no, he can't plead this out. He's going to sit here. I would ask that you take no action. He has the bonds on the new cases. It's the incompetency due to the fact that he's incompetent. I would ask that you take no action.
And I did appoint a public defender for all of these purposes, so they can address that with the trial division and any mental health services. I did put him on mental health pretrial release.
Or no bond, right?
I don't have to address the no bond issue. I'm not gonna hold him no bond. Mental health pretrial release if he qualifies. And I didn't mean none.
Oh, okay.
That needs to be done with the circuit if he gets rejected from mental health pretrial release.
Okay, I understand.
All right, thank you.
So there you go.
Robert Lee Irvin. Any questions, corrections?
No, yeah.
Okay. I wasn't, what I meant mental health, I didn't mean an or, just.
mental, okay.
Are you Mr. Irvin? Mr. Irvin, do you need a public defender to help you with your felony charges?
Yes.
I'll appoint a public defender in 2022 CF 4711. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I do find probable cause, and I do have concerns about the safety of your roommate and society. I'm going to set your bond at $3,000. No contact with your roommate. Maintain separate residence. You need to move out. He can stay. I'll allow a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer, and you're not allowed to have any weapons. All weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail. Jennifer Fleener is next. Are you Ms. Fleener? Good afternoon. Do you need a public defender to help you with your new charges? In case number 2022 CF 4736, I find probable cause for the charge of grand theft motor vehicle. I'll stay the bond at $1,000. In case 2022 CF 4241AO, you were released from jail just about 10 days ago for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. On those charges, I'm revoking your release. I'll give you a new bond of $5,000 on count 1 and $1,000 on count 2, plus drug testing through the pretrial release program at your expense. Drug testing can begin anytime after May 28th, and you're not to possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs or have any drug paraphernalia. That's to the out of bond. Why don't you check in with your attorney for some paper clips? Ryan Galloway is next. Mr. Galloway, good afternoon. You're here for felony charges in 2021 CF 16105. I believe you have a public defender. If you don't have one, do you want one?
Ma'am, I don't even know.
Okay, well, I'll talk to you about it. You're going to be held at no bond. You failed to appear for a court date for a drug charge. Are you sure you don't need a lawyer?
I'm gonna need one, but I'm saying, how would I feel?
Do you need a lawyer today? Yes or no?
That's it.
I'll appoint the public defender. I'm going to stay it at no bond that was pursuant to a KPS. The next person is Tara Harrelson. Pass. Ernest Hartfield. Mr. Hartfield, you missed your court dates in case number 2020 CF 4125 for drug and paraphernalia charges. Your total bond there is $3,500. You also have a new charge of possession of cocaine. Do you want a public defender to help you with your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender, and I'll stay that bond at $1,000. So between these two cases, your bond is $4,500.
The paraphernalia charge was resolved.
Accept a plea.
It's not. not, they issued for this.
After that, I have Christopher King.
Your Honor, actually, the second count on
stated-
the FTA is $100.
Oh,
It's 100? Okay, then I'll stay the bond. I'm sorry, I misread that. You're right, it is $100, but it is being stayed. Christopher King is next.
Christopher King refused, Your Honor.
All right, in 2021, CF 13855, possession of Eulatone. He missed his court date. He has a bond of $1,000. I find probable cause. I appoint the public defender for the possession of MDA in case ending in 4726, and I'll stay that bond as well. Okay, next is Ronnie Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy, do you already have a public defender helping you with your charges?
Yes, I believe I already have one.
So the public defender's office will continue to help you with your case. You missed your court date to address fentanyl charges. You're now being held at no bond, sir. Thank you. After that, I have Stephanie Longmore.
When will that be?
I don't know.
All right, Ms. Longmore, do you need a public defender to handle all of your cases that I'm addressing today?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender.
Thank you.
Your new charge is 2020 CF 4486, conspiracy to commit arson.
Yes, Your Honor.
Probable cause has been found. This was alleged to have occurred on or about March 20th. Your bond will be stayed at $1,000.
Thank you.
You're also out on bond in case 22 CF 1359AO for a charge of grand theft. You have an upcoming court date in that matter.
Yes.
At this time, I'm revoking your release and I'm holding you at no bond. In case number 2022 CF 783AO, a kidnapping and battery charge. The state has not made a filing decision. I'm inclined to take no action
That's what I was.
unless you want me to give you small bonds so she can start getting time on it.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll revoke her release and set bond at $1,000 per count.
How many counts did she have, Judge?
2, kidnapping and battery.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, the arson was how much?
The arson was 1,000.
Thank you.
No contact with any of the witnesses or victims in any of these cases.
Your Honor, I believe the state did file, sorry,
I checked it earlier.
No, they didn't.
the state, no, I just filed a motion to revoke bond on the kidnapping and battery case.
You did? And how much bond do you seek?
They just filed a motion to revoke it.
Okay, and I granted that, to revoke it. Do you want to be heard on bond? To be
we just-
held at no bond? I'm not understanding.
No, yes, Your Honor,
Okay.
just given the
Basically-
gravity of the charge.
Based on the state's request, she still has release conditions to abide by. I'm going to hold her at no bond. She was out on bond when she committed a new offense allegedly. Thank you. Yes. State, I need the motion.
Yes, Judge.
Can I see, can you put that paperwork aside? Oh, no, I got it. The next case is William Mahone. Are you Mr. Mahone? Sir, you're here in case number 2022 MM2351 and felony 2022 CF 4693AO. Do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
Ma'am.
All right, I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. On the controlled substance charge, you are entitled to a bond. I'll set that bond at $1,000. Did we already do the domestic?
Yeah, he was already seen.
That's what I thought. Thank you. And I've already addressed the domestic. The next case addressing is Angel Murph. Miss Murph, good afternoon. Do you need a public defender to help you with your cases?
Yes.
I'll appoint the public defender. I find probable cause for possession of MDMA, count 1, and count 2, possession of cannabis. On count 1, I'll stay the bond at $1,000. On count 2, modify to $100 for a total of $1,100. You're not to possess, use, or consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs. So you do have a bond, Ms. Murph. Thank you.
Your Honor, may I approach for Ms. Long?
Yes.
No, Rebecca. She doesn't.
Thank you, State.
She wasn't interviewed. No. You don't go.
All right, Marcus Patterson. Good afternoon, Mr. Patterson. Sorry for the wait. You're here in case number 2022 CF 4719. That's your new law offense. Do you need a public defender to help you with that case? I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I find probable cause. I'm going to stay the bond at $4,000. In case number 2021 CF 15125, the state has not made a filing decision, so I will take no action on that case. In case number 2021 CF 15422AO, possession of Eulatone, the state is proceeding to prosecute you, so in that case, I'm revoking your bond and holding you at no bond.
Already done with, man. I signed a plea deal for that last week.
And then finally, in case number 2021 CF 15714. State, did you file on that?
Not yet, Your Honor.
Oh, they didn't, it's still open.
Because that is a,
Yeah, but it's still open. They're still working on it. There's no plea.
Sir, because of the facts in the case ending in 1571 for battery, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and obstructing justice, I am going to revoke your release and hold you at no bond. You'll need to let the defense attorney, Ms. Dominguez, know what's happened. Thank you. I missed these? Okay, thank you. We'll move on. The next person is Albert Perez.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, on the pretrial diversion, the possession of meth, that was the only one you took no action on, his out on bonds? 2021 CF 15125, yeah? Okay, perfect, thank you.
She took no action on that one, too?
No, that
No
one was
action.
revoked.
15125. I revoked on 15714, and I revoked on 15422.
Okay, perfect, thank you, Your Honor.
Are you Albert Perez?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Mr. Perez, you missed your court date in case number 2019 15705. Based on that, you're being held at no bond. The Public Defender's Office will continue to help you with your case, your violation of probation.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. Thank you. Pass. After that, I have Tyrell Stefane.
Well,
Mr. Stefane, you're here in case number 2021 CF 12658. Do you already have a public defender helping you with your case?
no, ma'am.
Do you want one?
Well,
I'll appoint a public defender. You missed your court date for a cocaine charge earlier this month. You'll be held at $10,000 bond.
Great.
The next person is Tivonia Stallings. Thank you. Ms. Stallings, you're here in case number 2021 MM4165. You missed your court date for a charge of prostitution. Do you want a public defender on that case?
I want to get my own lawyer. Is that okay?
So I'll stay the bond at $1,500. In case number 2022 CF4729, you were arrested for possession of illegal drugs. You're now being held at bond of $1,000. I'll stay both of those bonds. Thank you, Ms. Stallings.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tadarian Walker. Sir, you're here in 2022 CF4708 for new charges of grand theft motor vehicle. Do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I find probable cause. I'll stay the bond at $2,500. Additionally, law enforcement did an on-view violation of your probation for out-of-county cases, and you'll continue to be held at no bond. I'll appoint the public defender for, to assist you while you're incarcerated in the Orange County Jail. Thank you, Mr. Walker. After that is Gabriel Williams, case number 22, CF 2701. Mr. Walker, or I'm sorry, strike that. Mr. Williams, is that your name? Yes. Mr. Williams, you missed your court date on April 14th for felony charges of driving with license suspended or revoked as a habitual traffic offender and no motor vehicle registration. Do you need a public defender? Do you plan to hire your own attorney? Or... You did? Okay, then you'll remain at no bond. Thank you. After that is Michael Wayne Williams. I need a minute with these guys. I'm going to appoint a public defender in the new charge, case number 2022 CF 437080. Probable cause has been found. He does have a bond of $250. He also has reporting requirements. I'll go through the reporting requirements shortly. He's out on conditional release for 4 different cases. Do you want to be heard on that?
Yes, Your Honor. He has been deemed incompetent to proceed in all of those cases, so I'd ask that you take no action due to the incompetency.
What says the state?
I say we'll just leave it within your discretion. I see that they date back all the way to 2019.
What?
I see that the cases date back all the way to 2019.
With these, let me check what the last eval. I think Judge LeBlanc, I know Judge LeBlanc would be in the best position to follow this. I am going to revoke his release, but I will give him a new bond because he's not going to qualify for a mental health pretrial release with these charges.
No, Your Honor. I would ask that you take no action, because if you set a new bond, he's already on Social Security
Yeah,
income.
I'm gonna no action it. Just with the long-standing history. I'll take no action on it. Oh, shoot, I forgot something. Mr. Williams, I need it back. Thank you.
I forgot.
Sorry about that. Let's address Wendell Wright. Are you Wendell Wright?
No,
This is the Creole, Your Honor.
Wendell Wright, 1 second.
A refusal.
He refused.
All right, in both cases, I'll appoint the public defender. I find probable cause in the new law violation, and the failure to appear has already been done. I'll go ahead and stay the bonds in both cases. Are you waiving? Defense counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Michael Williams, I do have to, do you know what your reporting requirements are because of your criminal history? You have to report as a sexual offender within 1 business day of your being released.
Oh, we did it, Oh, we did it.
It is one of the rules of your conditional release.
He said he understands, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
I'm out.
Sorry for Etienne, Prenor Etienne. Is she calling language? Thank you. We're just waiting on an interpreter.
Come here. I know we had a lot of prostitution. Color. What does she look like? The pink hair. She wasn't a prostitute because the ones that I had, they had the lace front.
Okay.
What's her name? What's her name? Olivia? All day.
What's Gretmore? Gretmore.
Was it playable or?
She was the playable.
All right. Any luck? Should I try calling?
Remember. Golder?
Anything else I need to sign?
Golder, I believe. Did you say she had?
Court's going to take a brief recess.
It was. This one? Yeah, no, she just had possession. They dropped that and she pled to the take that. She didn't have any history. Yeah, she did.
I mean, according to the warrant, he spoke to the officer in English.
When she come back, I'll ask her.
You're not on the phone? You on the speaker?
Yeah, because I'm still at first. Becca, bear with me on that one order. Okay.
Which one?
The out on bond. She ordered drug testing. My son get out early dismissal, so I had to tell her to get one.
Oh, for Fleener?
No, you have a sign.
Oh, just
He
drug
gets out
testing,
at
right?
2:50. Yeah, I didn't do it yet. Not gonna make it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We have an interpreter. We have one.
That's him?
Yeah, he a mess. He thinks he's a rock star.
How old is he?
He just turned 13.
13?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord.
Not a baby anymore.
He's not a baby.
Not a baby. Not anymore.
I got a 25-year-old child. Baby. And she will let you know I'm the baby. She lets you know.
Not all. I go downtown. I don't know what this on Friday. And I'm working Saturday and Sunday. I'll be over.
Yeah.
It's a Thursday. I might be in here tomorrow. I've been in a courtroom in a minute.
can do it in some English, try, or for us to call him.
PD's office, can you speak with Mr. ATN briefly and see if he's able to, what his level English is? He does have a bond.
Your Honor, he said he thinks he'll be able to understand. Because I
Sir-
believe he spoke.
Sir, okay, let's just use one anyway.
Really quick. I don't know where I put his paper. 'Cause I was trying to rush, thinking I was gonna make it, but I'm not. I don't know what I put his, thought I put him to the side. Why did y'all have her separate? She didn't be with other people? While we were just talking about the girl.
She was over in Southeast. The other ones was down.
Ah.
Stanley,
We get into this. She said yes, and I didn't see her. Oh, here he is.
Let's try it again. Sir, do you speak English?
A little bit.
How long have you been residing in Orlando or Florida?
1996.
1996? What's your primary language?
Creole.
And when did you learn English? How old were you?
A little bit when I walk.
What year was that?
When I walk in.
And she said, when did you start speaking English?
Oh, 1998.
He said 1998.
Okay. Sir, if at any point you need an interpreter because you don't understand me, can you let me know? You'll need to answer out loud so I can hear you. Do you need an interpreter? Yes or no?
If you have it.
What did he say?
If you have it.
I got it, but
I'll start off with appointing the services of the public defender because Sir, you were arrested for aggravated battery with a motor vehicle and organizing or planning a motor vehicle collision. I'm going to have a lawyer help you with your case. Your bond is $3,500. Do you understand me?
yeah, I said 2,500.
3,500. I'll give you a moment to confer. Let me see if you need an interpreter after that. On this paperwork, put down.
Your Honor, I don't think we need it. He understands.
All right, thank you. Put down the paperwork proceeded without an interpreter at the request of attorney. All right. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else from the Public Defender's Office or trial clerks?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. That concludes. We'll go off record.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos. Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.